Hello and welcome to the Farmer's Kitchen.
Hey.
We're the farmers.
That's right.
And this is our kitchen.
That is.
You know, somebody asked us the other day, is your name really Farmer? Mm-hmm. They were from out of state, and I said, yes, it really is. And this is our kitchen.
This is our kitchen.
And we are cooking dinner.
And I am starving.
And you are starving.
Yeah, we haven't eaten yet.
So we're going to do surf and turf tonight. Let me tell you, we've been running here lately.
We have.
You're making me travel.
I am making you travel. And fish.
And fish.
It's awful.
I'm telling you what, she's a sweetie. Not only is she pretty, but she's a sweetie.
But see, I get to read and float around. I'm enjoying myself too.
Recently, we've been doing the kayak thing.
We have.
And I've got a disease.
You do.
It's called the trout bug. And I've been fly fishing a lot. Now we went to Montana. Beautiful, beautiful Montana.
Beautiful.
And they call it Big Sky Country. Why do they call it
Why?
Big Sky Country? Look at this sky. I was walking back from the Madison River fishing, had a great day fishing. I was looking at my fly thinking, okay, will I be able to use this tomorrow? And the ground was suddenly blood red. I thought, whoops, I'm gonna hear a trumpet in a minute.
You looked
and
up?
I looked up and this sky, the sun was setting in the west. It was shining on a thunderhead in the east.
Yeah.
And I ran in and grabbed the phone and clicked that.
Nice picture.
Beautiful. We stayed on the Madison River in a little cabin in the middle of nowhere.
It was fun.
We had a horse and a donkey that were our friends.
We fed them.
We did.
That was fun.
And we just had a beautiful, wonderful time. We fished. We went to Yellowstone.
Yes.
We saw some geysers. We saw
And we
wildlife.
saw buffalo, walked right by the car.
Buffalo, elk,
that's
bear.
beautiful.
We saw so many wonderful things. Beautiful. We are blessed to live in such a beautiful country.
And you fished there. You fished at Yellowstone.
Fished at Yellowstone, caught some brown trout, caught a cutthroat,
You did?
caught a couple rainbows. It's a beautiful place. Caught a bunch in the Madison. Then we came back and went to the Cumberland tailwaters here in Kentucky.
We did.
Caught several in the last couple days and some really nice ones. We also went to the South Holston River
You had fun there too.
on the Virginia-Tennessee border.
Yes.
There were some trout in there, Nikki. I want to show you something.
Okay.
Hold that up there, if you will. Look at this. This is why I've got the disease, because there are fish. This was a Kentucky fish that I
It's
caught.
a nice fish.
Look at that fish.
That's
It's a brown
beautiful.
trout. I caught this fish not too long ago. I had it mounted because it didn't survive the catching. It got a hook in his gill.
It's awful pretty too.
Beautiful brown trout, and we'll have Raquel in a little while to tell us the different trout
Okay.
that are stocked in Kentucky. When you get a hold of one of these on a fly rod, let me tell you what. And I was catching 24 inches in southeastern Montana. Then I got hooked. Then again, we went to Kentucky and Tennessee. But tonight, we're going to fix that. To me, there's nothing like going out and gathering your own food. Whether
Right.
it's mushrooms like we had on the last show, whether it's deer hunting, and it's bow season.
Getting
We can
ready?
look right out the window and see deer around here.
You ready?
This is a bonus. We're cleaning out the freezer because
We
we're
are.
going to put more venison in there.
That's right.
And we found a tenderloin, one side of a tenderloin. Isn't that beautiful,
Yes,
wonderful?
it is nice.
So tonight we're doing surf and turf. If you don't have venison, you can use beef. If you don't have trout, you can order those online. A lot of places. Look at your local butcher shop, meat
Yeah.
places. You might be able to find some trout that are frozen or fresh. Or
Take a trip.
take a trip. Bag your fishing
That's
license
right.
and go fishing. All right, Mrs. Farmer, I'll tell you where we're going to start.
Okay.
Let's start with cutting some thin slices of lemon. You got to
Ready?
have lemon. Got to have lemon with your fish. Normally, I'll let most of my trout go, but I do like them if they're fixed properly. I love to smoke them. Now, not too long ago, we did a smoked trout recipe. If you want to look that up, that's my favorite way to have trout. Now, my old buddy Randall Gibson used to take these and he would cut down the center and he would put potatoes, carrots, small potatoes, cubed, carrots, celery, onion,
Yum.
and he would bake that in aluminum foil. Then he would season it with butter and different things. And that was really good too. Tonight, this isn't too far removed from your poached salmon that you like so
I love
well.
poached salmon.
I know you do. It's going to be close to that.
Okay. All right.
And if you'll open him up, something I'm going to do, Mrs. Farmer, I'm going to take a little bit of mayonnaise. Now, the great thing about trout fishing is they're probably one of the easiest fish to clean.
That was easy. Clean it.
Really easy. You basically just open them up the vent, cut them up front, pull out their entrails, and you're good to go. I'm going to take a little bit of salt, a little bit of garlic, a little bit of pepper,
Yummy.
and a little bit of paprika. And we put that mayonnaise in there. And now let's put
Some
2 or
lemons.
3 slices of lemon in there, just as many as will fit. And
like
I'm
that.
going to take a sprig of dill
Okay.
and lay that in there, and then lay it on the side. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my brush. I'm going to take some mayonnaise. I'm just going to coat that fish. Now, somebody might say, "Oh my gosh, it's looking at me," but he can't see.
That's right.
He's asleep.
That's right.
So I'm going to take some mayonnaise. Now, what that does is it really has a nice buttery taste. Now that will kind of melt down.
Good. It does have a
And the
buttery
f-
taste.
Oh yeah, the flavor that's in there, and it's an adhesive as well, and all the spices will stick to it. So we're gonna take that mayonnaise, put on there. We're gonna come back with our salt, some pepper, a little bit of garlic, a little bit of onion powder, and a little bit of paprika. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take some of the full slices of lemon. If you lay some full slices just like right on top of it.
All right.
You know what? Got in the mail the other day. I've been thinking about buying one of these forever. Tina and Jean King. I've wanted to get one of these for, look at this.
That's
for
nice.
one arm, dude.
Oh, that's perfect.
Let me do some deal first. Oh, Mrs. Farmer.
Just 3? How about 4? I got 4
Yeah,
pieces.
4
Let's
will
do
work.
'em.
So this is gonna kind of be like your poached salmon. I'm gonna take
Okay.
some white wine and put on the bottom of your roast pan so it'll steam
nice,
all up in there.
nice.
And we let him get room temperature because we don't want a cold fish. We want him to get done on the inside. 425 for probably about a half an hour.
Okay.
And we'll check the temperature when it's nice and flaky. We'll bring
Yum.
that out. I'm gonna make you a little bit of aioli type sauce here, and then we're gonna be good to go.
That sounds good.
So we're gonna take some white wine, put in the bottom of our pan here, because it is a high temperature.
Yes.
Half fire that one all cook off.
Lay him
you'll
in there?
very carefully bring him up. Set him in there. Now look at that.
It's perfect.
Isn't that nice?
Yes.
Is that not beautiful?
That
in
is
itself?
actually beautiful.
All right, let's pop that in.
Righty.
Number 425. Put it on the bottom rack so we can see.
Righty.
And when you see those lemons start to turn brown,
We know.
and you know that it's nice and flaky, it's time to roll. Now, tell you what, let's do. Let's get our meat ready. There's something about bringing in your own game
Yes,
to the
there is.
table. I can't explain it. I've been doing it since I was a kid. Got a little boost 30-some years ago when I met Raul, and he started showing me sauces
Oh, yeah.
and tricks. The French chef, those French chefs, and he was just an amazing, amazing guy. But he showed me sauces and what to do with trout and venison and so on and so forth. He was really an inspiration and really helped me out in my cooking.
You're good with your sauces.
Well, thanks to him. Everybody learns from somebody, and he was the master. So what we're gonna do with this, I don't wanna disguise the flavor. Now we're gonna make a sauce, a mushroom sauce.
Yummy.
We're gonna reduce down. But I want this to just have salt and pepper. That's it.
Perfect.
We're gonna grill that. We want it to have a pink center. We don't wanna get it overdone. And then we're gonna drizzle our reduction down over that.
Yummy.
All right, so now we're gonna take this and we're gonna cut off some wonderful grill-sized medallions. Look at that.
Wow.
Is that not beautiful?
That is beautiful.
And we're just gonna salt and pepper these. That's it. I'm not even
Okay.
gonna put any garlic on these, just salt and pepper.
That's good looking meat.
Isn't it too?
Yeah. Really good looking meat.
Now I went to look for mushrooms today
You did.
and I didn't find anything that you could eat.
Yeah.
It's been a really mushroomy year.
It has, hasn't it?
Gotta be careful. You have to know what you're doing before you put them in your mouth. Look at that beautiful venison.
That is good meat.
You know, when you have a chest freezer, it's hard to find anything
Right.
because you get in there and you dig around and stuff falls down in there. But you do find some wonderful surprises like
Yeah,
that.
it was fun, yeah.
So that's what we're gonna do right there. That's about
Yummy.
it. I'll tell you what, let's clean this up. We'll be right back with a cleaner cooking area. And we need some pots and pans. We can't
Yes, we
cook on
do.
this.
Yes,
All
we
right. do. All right, you're mixing up some rice there. And I'm just digging this. Look at this. Look at this.
You like that,
look at
don't
this
you?
ulu knife. Just boom, 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 boom. This is really handy.
That is nice.
You know, for years I've thought about getting one of these, but that little indentation too really helps me out because it keeps everything in here. So thanks to Tina and Jean for that. Wow.
That's
Look
nice.
at that. Now what am I chopping this up for?
What are you chopping that
Is
for?
I'm gonna make you your favorite little kind of aioli here.
I love that.
I'm just gonna take a little mayonnaise, some fresh dill, take just a little bit of lemon juice. And see, everything's kind of coming together here.
Yes, it is.
And that's your goal. It's kind of like putting a puzzle together. You got to try to think ahead when everything's going to be ready, how long it takes. So we've got our lemon, our fresh dill. We're going to put just a little bit stone ground mustard in here, Mrs. Farmer.
All right, I like that.
And I'm telling you what, just the simplest little things like this sometimes. Now I got to get my butter ready to go. If you'll cut me up some onions, some shallot.
Alrighty.
I'm going to cut my mushrooms here. We got 2 people cutting. Man, that works well.
I might have to steal that from you.
How about that? Go ahead and dump that, Nicki.
So half of a shallot and a quarter of an onion. Good?
There we go.
All right,
So
that's
we
good.
got our rice going over here.
Try it. That's pretty good.
Now once these onions start to get translucent, I'm going to throw the mushrooms in there. I've had so many fishing adventures in my life. When I was host to Kentucky Field, my whole life. And some of those adventures were with my old buddy Rick Hill. Now Rick is the artist for the Department of Fish and Wildlife, and he actually does a lot of stuff on the side as well. Let's bring him in while this stuff's cooking up to talk about trout in Kentucky. He's got some stuff I bet you don't know. All right, we have Rick Hill back. Now, we love nature. When we're out fishing, we look around us. You know, we brought mushrooms in.
Oh, yeah.
We like to bring as much food in as we can, but while we're out and about, we really like to observe, and we like to know which bird's making that particular call.
Oh, sure.
It really kind of wakes you up to your environment. And Rick is an outdoor artist, wildlife artist. He's been doing this all his life. He's an amazing artist, award-winning artist. Still works with the Department of Fish and Wildlife, but you do work yourself as well. Now, not too long ago, we were fishing in Alabama, and I was catching a lot of spotted bass. So I wanted folks to know the difference between a spotted, a largemouth, and a smallmouth. We've been fishing a lot for trout. Nicki has really been nice to me. She's gone to Montana, Tennessee, and all over the place fishing with me. We have quite the fishery here in Kentucky. Now, most of these fish we don't eat, but if occasionally one gets hung up and it dies,
they're excellent eating.
Well, we're going to eat them. We're going to eat some tonight. But if you will, Rick, tell us the difference between these two fish. Obviously, this is a rainbow and this is a brown, but tell us all about these fish.
Well, just a little bit about trout in general. It's the basic fins of the dorsal and the tail, but there's also the adipose fin. You don't like in a catfish, but the trout have adipose fins too. Now, the rainbow trout origin is the West Coast, but they've been stocked in Kentucky for generations.
There are no indigenous trout to Kentucky, correct?
No. It was thought at one time that the brook trout, well, we'll show that in a minute, was indigenous to Kentucky. But the thought today is that it was more to the east in West Virginia, Virginia and the Appalachians, and running up north. And so not quite in Kentucky, but really close.
Now, we have great fisheries in Kentucky, but they need cold water, correct?
Yes. I'm pretty sure the trout like something in the 65-degree area. If it gets much warmer, it can't stay very warm much longer, like 70 for very long. So it could become stressed. Now, like I said, from the West Coast comes the rainbow. I've been here and in many places, but the Cumberland River is where they get the biggest. The tailwaters of Lake Cumberland. Well, anyway, to tell that in the brown, its origin is Europe. And it's been here since the late 1800s. One way to tell the difference is obviously the rainbow is famous for its rainbow colors, a little bit of bluish, and of course the crimson, the red stripe down the side, and lots of black spots, lots of dark spots on the tail and the dorsal as well. On the brown, you have the larger spots, including some red with halos around it, but very little marking on the tail. Now, when you catch young trout, as you know, with all the trout you catch, the young trout are often more silvery, and they're a little bit harder to tell when they don't have their colors like spawning colors, and when they're young. And sometimes even par marks if they're young. Remember that there's very little spotting in the brown trout in the tail. So if you catch a silvery one and you're trying to tell, until you really get to looking at the spots, that's one way that you can tell. And they kind of get a kype, and much better color is spawning time. In the spring for the rainbow, and for the brown, it's in the fall, like September to December, usually in Kentucky when they really are the best, seems like to me, from my experiences, right around October.
Now let's talk about that brook.
All right.
Now here's the brookie.
The beautiful brookie. Now this one, I've got this painted as a breeding male with beautiful colors. And of course, when they're young, they could be a little more light colored and silvery. But actually, the neat thing about a brook trout, other than their habitat, is they're actually not a true trout. They're in the char family, like a Dolly Varden, or everyone has seen probably a lake trout from up north. And one way you can tell is instead of a brown body as in the brown trout with dark spots on the body, they have a dark body with light spots on a dark body. That's one way to tell.
So I have caught these within the last couple weeks down below
in the
tailwaters
tailwaters
of Cumberland. And they started stocking these, what, several years ago?
Several years ago. I'm not sure the exact year, but they've been putting them in for several. Yes.
Yeah. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful fish.
Oh, I think it's my favorite as far as coloration goes.
Well, thank you again, Rick, for coming out and talking to the folks and telling us about our trout skis.
Enjoyed it. Enjoyed it.
And I've enjoyed fishing for them. Thank you, Nikki, for letting me go fishing a whole lot here.
I'm telling you, you're a lucky man.
She puts up with me, and she even videos while we're out. She takes her camera and...
A trooper.
I'm telling you.
Putting up with you fishing.
Putting up with
I've
me.
been there.
Putting up with me, period.
Yeah, well, that's
Thank
it.
you, Rick.
Yeah.
All right, Mrs. Farmer, I'm going to take my wonderfully chopped mushrooms.
Yummy.
They're ulu chopped.
Ulu chopped. Wow, those are perfect. Look at that. You did a perfect cut.
You know what? I wish I could have found some mushrooms today in the woods, but there's...
You tried. I saw you up
Like
there.
I said, if I'd have brought any of those back that I did find,
We wouldn't be
we
here.
wouldn't be in very good shape.
You want to do it?
So, I want to thank our buddy Rick Hill for coming in and doing our little naturalist notebook. You know, it's nice to know what's around you.
I learned something. I learned a lot, actually.
Did you know that there are no trout that are native to
I
Kentucky?
did not know that. I learned that today.
How about that?
And how three different trout and
Yep,
the beautiful
that's
colors.
the three that we have here. Now they're stocked, and most of those are raised down at the fish hatchery, if not all of them, in Jamestown. All right, so we're going to get these going just a little bit. We don't want to get them overdone. And then we're going to come in with some red wine.
I'm smelling this. Doing a
Go
Sammy.
ahead, Sammy.
I do it, and then I'm smelling your fish too. I can't
That
wait.
fish is almost done. So what we're going to do, we're going to come in with about a half a cup of red wine.
Yummy.
Let that cook for just a minute. I'm going to come back
Sure.
with some beef broth. About a half a cup of that.
Okay.
And a little bit of bouillon.
That's good stuff, isn't it?
That'll bring in all the salt we need.
Yummy.
And then we're going to let that reduce down. One more thing we're going to do. Normally, I would put currant jelly in this.
Right.
It's the perfect blend for all this. But Lori Lenore White sent me some stuff. She's a friend of ours. She's got strawberry and tomato jam, black pepper, basil, and balsamic vinegar.
They're all
absolutely
delicious.
wonderful.
They're all delicious.
But I think for this one, we're going to use she had a pineapple peach. She's got a peach and tomato pepper jelly. I don't even know what to use because each one of these is going to add.
They're all
just
so
one.
good.
I think I'm going to use the pineapple peach, just a little bit of that, just for a little bit of sweet.
Okay.
Thank you, Laura, for that. She's our friend. I'm trying to talk her into putting these on the market.
Oh,
She's
yeah.
really good
Oh,
at.
yeah.
She's really good
She should.
at knowing what to add to what to
Right.
get that perfect taste. And thank you again, Laura, for that. All right, we're going to let this reduce down. All right, you know what else, Miss Farmer? Let's just go ahead and get some asparagus ready. Now you're going to make us a little surprise side for this. So all we're going to do is saute this asparagus with salt, pepper, and just a little bit of garlic.
Look at you with your little cutter.
I'm telling you,
That's
I love
perfect.
it. I absolutely love it. One-armed guy has found a new friend. You know what?
ready?
While I'm doing this, if you want to make the hollandaise,
I will do it.
let's do that.
I'm gonna set this rice aside. It's
I'll
ready.
take care of this while you're doing that. And the last thing we got to do is grill this. This is coming together nicely.
All right, what I'm gonna do is I've created my own double boiler here because it's easier to do it myself. And I'm gonna start with 1 tablespoon of butter and I'm gonna melt that down. Once it's melted, I'm gonna add a tablespoon of flour and a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. I'm gonna bring that together till it's bubbly. Once it's bubbly, I'm gonna add a 1/4 cup of milk, and that I'm gonna make sure, I'm gonna let that go for a while too.
1/4 cup of what?
Milk,
Milk?
milk,
How do you spell milk?
M-E-L-K. And then I'm gonna let that get really thick. Once it's thick, I'm gonna take it off the stove and set it aside, and we're gonna add 1/2 cup of mayonnaise to that and 2 teaspoons of cider vinegar.
Yum.
Yummy.
It's hot out there in that grill. Okay, we're coming together, Miss Farmer, really quickly.
I'm
tonight.
excited.
I'm going to come back now with sour cream.
Okay.
That would be a dollop.
Another
Dollop and a
dollop.
half.
Okay.
Now I'm going to take a little bit of horseradish.
I like horseradish.
I guess that would be about a teaspoon. Mix that all up. And I tell you what, here's what's going to happen. Got our horseradish and our sour cream here.
Oh,
In
wow.
a minute, we're gonna dress our plate up, come back out for the big reveal. We'll be right back. Some of the best fish I ever had was in a Korean restaurant in Hawaii, and they served a whole fish like this. And he was smiling at me, and I thought, how is this going to be? And it was the best fish I ever had. And then we had another one in a Chinese restaurant somewhere where the
Yes.
fish was just fried. It was a carp.
It was good
And
too.
it was delicious.
It was good.
So I don't know. It's too beautiful to eat.
It is. That's a pretty dish.
That's a pretty dish. Your homemade hollandaise sauce, I'll try that. It's absolutely wonderful.
Thank you.
So where do we start?
I don't
You want
know.
to try a piece of the steak?
I do.
Now,
Sauce.
let me show you a little secret here. But you can, when it's done and it's done properly, it'll lift right off
Oh,
of
wow.
that bone.
Yeah.
See there? The backbone's right there. But what I'm going to do, Ms. Farmer, is just going to take this hide off right
Okay.
here. And I want you to dig in there. I'm just going to pull the skin back.
Wow.
And I want you to grab a piece of meat off and dip in your little aioli sauce there.
You know I love trout.
Go ahead and get you a piece there.
Ooh.
Look how beautiful.
Wow. Wow.
You like your trout, don't you?
I love trout. That's so
Oh.
good. Oh, wow. That's the best I've
Oh.
ever had. I like
Oh.
that.
Now in a minute, we're going to get really crazy on this fish.
Oh, that's
down
good.
Here. What we'll do is we'll lift this off. You can actually take that backbone when they're good and done like this and lift it out. It'll be
Okay.
pretty much
Makes it
boneless
easier
for
to
most
eat.
time. But I want to try a piece of this meat, and I want to try some of the asparagus.
I do too. I'm just going to pick it up with my finger. Is that okay? You like it?
Finger
Dip it in the
food.
sauce.
Oh my. Not sure which is the best.
It's all delicious. You know what I like about this? Is the mayonnaise. And instead of, people use egg, but this was with mayonnaise. It's really got a good flavor, don't you
You
think?
know what? That is, all of this is so easy to make. So delicious. We're going to tear this up. But this, with that little bit of jelly in it,
it's so
got a little
good.
bit of heat in it. We taste the flavors that we like in a reduction. The mushroom has a nice earthy flavor. It mixes with that red wine. And the bouillon, you have that familiar flavor of that
Yeah.
sauce that he made. And herb jelly in there had a little heat.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's so nice.
Sweet.
We love going out into the field and bringing our food home. Now, we don't do that very often. You can do this with beef, you can buy your trout, or you can use any other kind of fish that you want to do like this.
This was all you, though.
But
except for the asparagus.
this was all in the woods or on the water.
Right. Perfect.
And I'm telling you what, when you bring it home yourself, there's just something special about it. Something special happened this past weekend, too. You know what it is?
What was that?
Our YouTube page went above the 100,000 mark. You know what that means? That means we've arrived.
Yay!
Thank you so much for making that special for us. I want to thank KET for having us. It's almost our 9th birthday.
Wow.
Before long, we'll be into our 10th year of filming. So we want to thank everyone out there that watches our show and corresponds with us on our Facebook page. How do you get on our Facebook page, Ms. Farmer? Is it difficult?
It's very difficult. You hit like.
Hit like. We want you to be our Facebook friend and go to YouTube. All these recipes, all these things that we've done, all these how-tos are out
Right.
there for you to look at. And hit that little red button, subscribe, and I guarantee you, every time we get something new, you'll know about it.
That's right.
So how do you look at our videos? You go to,
TimFarmersCountryKitchen.com.
click on YouTube, boom, there
That's
we
right.
are. Ms. Farmer, it's time to shut the cameras down and us become animals.
That's right, I can't
You know,
wait.
when the cameras are off, we don't even use forks. We just,
That's right.
this is a beautiful, wonderful meal.
Yes, it
Came
is.
in from the woods, off the water, and the only thing you need is a hunting and fishing license.
That's right.
Ms. Farmer, it's all about
Good times.
good friends.
Really good eats. I'm
We'll
ready
see
to
you
eat.
next week on Tim Farmer's Country Kitchen.
This is so good.
Oh, yeah.
To order a cookbook, email timfarmerck@gmail.com.